Hello and welcome. My name is Aasha LeCount, founder of BeyondEQ Emotional Intelligence for luxury hospitality, as well as private golf clubs and private city clubs. And I am here today to share with you a short video. I'm going to try to keep this at about 12 minutes on exactly how we can support your establishment in helping you to see past what is going on within your team and get results fast when it comes to alignment. I have a background in hospitality consulting. I am a graduate of Johnson& Wales. I have worked at some of the more prestigious clubs and luxury hospitality establishments in the world, including and not limited to Per Se, Michelin Restaurant, the Country Club in Brookline, Royal Sydney Golf Club, Piping Rock Club, and I have spoken at multiple CMAA events as well as other things like the Vendors Expo show in New York and Harvard Club Boston, where I ran an EQ intensive. I eat, sleep, and breathe hospitality and leadership, and I know exactly how important emotional intelligence is, not just for your team members, but believe it or not, for your members as well. As dynamics shift with the rise of artificial intelligence and the rise of isolation. There is nowhere else to go other than into emotional intelligence, and I'm going to show you exactly how we can support you. So let's go ahead and begin. I'm going to show two presentations over the course of this short video that are going to give you an idea of there are two options that we could do to get you at least started on the path of emotional intelligence with your team. So first and foremost, I'm going to talk a little bit about the webinars, virtual, and of course, hybrid options where we do a bit of virtual and in person. We have some statistics here. So all of these statistics, this is what's really amazing about emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence on a very surface level is the ability to feel your emotions and then use that to make better decisions. But emotional intelligence is logic. Emotional intelligence is retention. Emotional intelligence is increased revenue, if that's something that's important for you. And emotional intelligence is longevity and no hurt feelings. This is true alignment. You can have a team of people who are outputting quickly and they are also taking care of themselves as well as their family dynamics. It is a trifecta of health, work, and family. That's what the coolest thing is about EQ. It's energy in motion, emotions. So naturally, we're going to have some amazing statistics. Let's talk a little bit about some that came from Four Seasons as well as Harvard Business Review study. Companies who emphasize emotional intelligence report 37% stronger customer and member experiences, 40% customer and member loyalty, 31% advocacy based on like, this is a great place, I want to work here. It becomes magnetic, I like to say. And then burnout across the board decreases as well as retention increasing. This is your overall mental health of not only the individuals on your team, but the entire ecosystem of your establishments. Okay. I keep saying over and over again, it's about how your members feel. It is about how your team members feel. It is a vibe, right? Like people want to be around emotional, intelligent leaders. And as someone who's been studying this for over 10 years as an international consultant and last 5 years with my own business as a single mom and a CEO and fitness model, as well as many other different things that I do for joy, I can say it can change the lives of your individual team members as well as yourself in such a short period of time. I also included some of these. Some of these are also from McKinsey, Forbes, and Hospitality Insight. So here are some ideas and webinar options. We can do ones on retention. We can do ones on community build, stress management, engagement of members, and burnout. Being a Johnson& Wales graduate and also a consultant, I have background in how to build standard operating procedures for the way people answer the phone, the way people greet, how we receive and give feedback, how we deal with in the moment, in the heat of the moment or under pressure. How do we deal with that? How do we deal with team members who are seasonal, that don't have naturally, maybe perhaps the heart that other people have, or if someone feels burnt out because they're doing too much, how do we work through that? So these are some ideas and options. We have 1 hour webinars, 2 to 3 hour deep dive workshops. These are virtual, and then full day 8 hour intensives. So my suggestion is to always start perhaps with a 1 hour webinar, which range from anywhere from 1,200 to 2,200, depending on who's in attendance. With this, you will also get a workbook and a survey of the team where I will comprise that data for you and the management team to take forward if you choose not to ascend with my programs. So this is the first option here. This is really what I suggest as an entry point, or perhaps even option 2, which is a 3 hour online workshop. That said, the most effective is going to be in the second presentation. And what I do online is they're fun. We have a lot of impact. We give resource packs. I just did one last week. 30 people attended. They had an absolute blast. People that we didn't think were going to be affected by emotional intelligence as much really opened up. So the management team was extremely excited and happy, and realized that it was something they really did want to do a little bit further. So that is the first option. Okay. And I'll send that forward for you to have in a hard copy there. Okay. So you can take a good look at that. And again, these webinar options, they're just options. We talk specifically about what your team needs. If you're hosting it specifically for your team, if you're hosting for an entire organization or multiple revenue centers and general managers from different clubs, then we customize to you. So the second thing that we want to talk about now is how we do this. So my name is Aasha, as you know. I am all about data. I'm also a CEO, and I love systems, and I love numbers and tangible things that we can measure to show where your investment is going. This is so important. So I've comprised this into a 4-step core method. Core meaning connect, observe, respond, and then execute. I'm going to share with you now a case study on exactly how this works. Step 1. First, we survey your team. I have created a 8-question or 10-question. It's about 8 questions about the organization that get under the hood of what your team is dealing with, that they may not know how to voice or do not feel comfortable voicing. In this case study, I have done a survey for 12 people, surveyed a team of 12 at a club in the New England area. And the general manager had me come in, and he knew that something was off. He couldn't understand why the team was not responding to him. He said it felt like they weren't even listening. They couldn't understand him, and he didn't understand why. And he was new. He had just started. He was about a month into his position as general manager. And he was like, I just know there's something a little off. So when we tested the team on this survey, their perspective, this is their perspective, 7, overwhelming 7 said that they needed better communication. The second 2, consistent direction and then information from leaders, they also fall under communication, right? So we've got 11 people who really said that better communication is what they needed. We then surveyed the team of 12. So perhaps your team is 7 or 8 in your executive leadership team, or maybe even 10 or 12 or 15. We survey each of them on the 26 areas of emotional intelligence. So this particular individual result shows a person who has very low personal power and low empathy, but a really high level of service orientation and really high level to create and catalyze change. So this is like a really great server, a person who's able to show up for the members or the clients or the guests. It's someone who's able to show up and really put their best foot forward. But look at the empathy, look at the personal power. So this person exhibited people-pleasing tendencies with the direct reports, but frustration toward colleagues who were perceived to be contributing less than her. In this case, I think it was a woman. Yeah, it was. And the low empathy leads to being overly critical, but holding those similarly high expectations of others in herself. She was so critical of herself, and then maintains a really calm external demeanor while internalizing a lot of their stress. So they're showing up and they're performing. That's where it gets a little bit confusing, right? So this is just one example out of the 12 leaders. So now with this data, I want you to look at this. Communication is here. Communication is here right next to this yellow, this green line. A lot of them came back like this. Like almost all of them had no issues with communication, right? I often equate it to like similar to like a marriage, right? It's never really communication. It's always something deeper. So we took the average of all of the team results to get to the root problem, and we came up with the fact that communication is here. It's not a problem. It's the lack of action taking and bias for action and personal power and behavioral self-control that are the problems. So this one, and this one, these three is what I teach on. And in communication improves. Why did this happen? Because prior to the new general manager coming in, they had a general manager there that was there for about 20 years. And he just kept programming them. He was like a micromanager. So they were just following suit. You may be at a club that changes managers every 5 to 6 or 7 years. You may be cultivating a team that doesn't have a lot of respect or feels unstable because they don't know how long the next manager is going to be there. So there's all these different factors that come into play we can't see. So that's why that data is so important. So I then implement the workshop. I implement my case studies as well as my data and from a consultation hat, where I determine what we need to work on. We build a resource pack. I teach about emotional intelligence, and the team thrived. It was crazy. One man lost 15 pounds. Another went back to coaching swimming outside of work. He had forgotten that he loved doing that. Another's marriage completely improved. And then we also had one woman leave to go follow her dreams. And she couldn't understand. She had forgotten that she wanted to move to Hawaii, and she moved to Hawaii. It was like the most amazing thing. And the whole team was so happy for her. The team then started implementing with me recruitment, a recruitment process, because now the team's aligned. So this is just how it goes. We have hundreds and hundreds of testimonials to support this work and how we can improve your club. So we want to look at what's going on exactly at your club or your hospitality venue so that we can get to the root of that. This investment can be found on my website for 10 leaders to be tested. Runs about 45 days. We do the testing. We then do an online workshop. I then come in and do a 4-hour workshop, and then we do a 30-minute Zoom, like power half hour, after we're done with all that. And I also meet with the general manager and the assistant general manager so that we can come up with a game plan. And then perhaps you would want to do 3 months of team coaching, but that is not part of it. This is called the EQ intensive for a reason. I'm all about saving you time and energy. And the investment for this is only $7,600. And so a really, really robust consultation and emotional intelligence intensive package, so that we can bring the team to a place that all clicks together, not just at work, but with their own personal lives as well. Okay, and I love this. First person you lead is you. And all of my information on how to connect with me is there. I'm also going to share a link with the EQ intensive for clubs. You'll also see other links for luxury hospitality, luxury real estate. Those are my two main areas of expertise in the teams that I work with, because I also work with sales teams. And you will also see the work that I do with enterprise as well, which is very much a revenue-driven model. And as I've mentioned at the beginning of this video, this will also be something that your members are going to need to look at on a very large scale. There is no doubt about it. Emotional intelligence is the future. Our humanity is screaming out for more connection. It's screaming out for more community. And the clubs and high-level hospitality venues, you are in such an amazing position to create a magnetic club that everybody feels the difference and really set yourself apart. And I'm looking forward to working with you. Thank you so much for taking the time to invest in this video. It shows that you are on the right path, showing the first steps of making improvements within your team. And again, my name is Aasha LeCount. I will look forward to connecting with you soon. Bye-bye.